Hey everybody, thank you for your patience with me. I've been having some Wi-Fi connectivity issues, but I'm really excited to, gonna mute that, dive into today's topic about how easy it is to take action and how to make this process easy and how to enjoy it. And this is something that is not something that's perfected in my life and my business. If I want to be 100% authentic with you, because I want you to know that you can become a diamond coach, a star diamond coach, an elite coach, a million club member, a superstar diamond coach, and not have it all together. And you can ask any of the coaches in this group from my team, I don't have it all together. You can ask any of the leaders that are co-running this group. We don't have it all together. And I remember when I first started out coaching, and I was working full time, and I had a 40-hour work week that was really a 60 to sometimes 70-hour work week, and I had a 2-hour commute, and I was working my business first thing in the morning, on bathroom breaks, at lunch, at night. Things did not feel easy. There were messy parts of my routine and my schedule and my time management. And I just thought to myself, if people knew all the ways that I was failing, all the ways that this didn't come easy to me, all the ways that it was challenging me and it was hard, I would be found out, or I should have this shame to carry. As I started to bear that and say, I'm having such a hard time, I want to just use your guys' examples because I've experienced them all. I have such a hard time staying organized. It's not easy for me. I'm not organized. It's crazy when someone asks you to do a team call about how you have it all together, and you're like, if you only knew how unorganized I was. Keeping track of everyone I talk to. Well, I'm here to tell you today, you can become a 3-time elite million club member, superstar diamond coach, and not keep perfect track of every conversation you have. Struggling with prioritizing the different parts of your business because you feel everything is important. I'm actually going to be speaking on that today as well, which is awesome. Kelly, I didn't get your question via message, so maybe we can talk about that after. Lauren had said she struggles with consistency. I'm going to talk about that today, how to make that easy. I feel like everything takes me forever. That's very common. Staying organized, prioritizing a power hour, knowing people who need help but aren't willing to put in the work, consistent. Most of it is mastering ourselves, right? It's mastering ourselves. And the first thing that I want to recommend that you guys do is you pick up the book, The Slight Edge. And I was very humbled in December of this past year, and by the fact that I was listening to trainings and I was listening to videos from people who hadn't accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. And so I thought about, who is the person in this network who has done the unbelievable and is a master of her time and a master of consistency and a master of organization and still probably has flaws. And the person that came to mind was Melanie Mitro. And she is someone who, I am creative juices, energy, just like, let's create this big vision. But she had all the areas where I was weak. She had those strengths. And so I really said to myself, well, what is her resounding message? What is that underlying thing? So she keeps it simple and consistent, because that's what I was really struggling with. And I remember hearing her say over and over and over again, the slight edge changed my life. The slight edge changed my life. And I don't know if you guys have felt this way with top coaches or with summit presentations or national wake-up calls, but you hear that the slight edge is the answer, and you say to yourself, girl, you're lying. There's something else. There's magic to it. And yes, absolutely. Just from a back-end perspective, when we prepare team calls, when we prepare national wake-up calls, when we prepare summit presentations, we can't share every area of our business. We also have to communicate to our audience, which is normally new and emerald coaches. And I've learned the hard way that when I give it all to my new coaches, they often get overwhelmed. So when we teach these things, we usually start with the foundations. And so in December and January, we read this book, The Slight Edge, as a team. And this was, this was one of those books where I had read quotes from it. I had read a chapter of it. I had read 4 chapters of it, but I had never fully read it and applied it with consistency. And so the number one takeaway about just how simple this business can be is read this book, because Jeff Olson is going to teach you this in a way that I could never. So I want to connect you directly to the source. And you're seeing a lot of coaches on my team or personally sponsored who are vouching for this book. And just to give you guys a little bit of a practical suggestion on how you could apply this, I think there's 17 chapters in The Slight Edge. Find a group of success partners. Do it with your personally sponsored coaches. Read it 1 chapter a day and make it mandatory that everyone has shares their takeaways each day. And I guarantee you, your vision and your perspective on this business will change. Because it's true. It's true that the simple things that are not sexy is what builds success. One of my favorite quotes, and I want you guys to write this down, is when you cut corners, you will end up with 2 more. I love that. So if you think about it, if you go for a run, and imagine this is the block, you're running up the sidewalk, and what you decide to do is you cut a corner. You're trying to cut your distance, but all you end up with is a corner here and a corner there. And that's an analogy for your life and your business. When you have an invite and you don't write it down, guess what? You're cutting a corner. You're going to end up with 2 more. You're only hurting yourself. When you skip that workout, yeah, you're probably going to watch a TV show or get a little bit more sleep, but in reality, you are going to end up with 2 more. And initially when I hear that, I think, well, duh, like I know that I need to track. I know that I need to do my workouts. I know that I need to prioritize. I know that I need to do my power hour, Chelsea. Like I know this. I'm overwhelmed by it. And that's why it's not simple. That's why it doesn't feel like I can master this. This is why it feels some days like it's impossible, or I'm just not cut out for this, or I have to sacrifice the joy in my life in order to be a slave to my phone. And that's where I want you to breathe and know that it doesn't have to be perfect. The best way to keep this business simple is to keep it simple. That's the absolute best way. There are trainings like this, cover photos, blogs, YouTube videos, websites. All the frosting on top of the cupcake is fun and gorgeous and can keep you creatively inspired and expressing yourself or reaching people in a different way, but it can never be the cake. It can never be the cake of your business. When I have coaches who get overwhelmed, usually it's because they're eating all frosting and they're focused so much on the other things that they don't have the sustenance of inviting, drink a shake, read a book, share about it. Danielle Natoni is someone that I respect so much in this business, in her consistency, in her body. Julie Voris is her success partner, and she's very similar. And both of them have made such a huge impact on me. Melanie Mitro is also cut from the exact same cloth. I keep it simple. I do what I said I was going to do. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to drink my pre-workout. I'm going to do a workout. I'm going to post about it. I'm going to drink my post-workout shake. I'm going to drink my Shakeology. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to try to add value to the people in my life, whether it's on social media or in real life, based on what I'm learning. And then I'm going to invite someone to do those simple steps with me every single day. You cannot build a business without that. Not a fulfilling one, not a duplicatable one. So if you are feeling like this business is complicated, it's probably because you don't have your cake in order. And you don't eat your cake every single day. You're swimming in frosting, you're swimming in icing, and that is not going to create a sustainable, consistent income. Your coaches, one of the biggest lessons that I learned in this business is when I do something, my coaches are going to do it. So when I say, well, I have to build this training and this cover photo, or I used to think when I read a book by Jeff Olson, I had to make a video series on all the takeaways that I had from Jeff Olson, as opposed to saying, hey, let's read this book together. Reinventing the wheel, making it too complicated, all that stuff is extra. And it absolutely has a place in this business, especially if you're ignited by the creativity, but it can't come first. Lindsay Owens is actually on the call. And it reminds me of, we were just at Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within this past weekend. And we were talking about Instacart. And we were talking about how awesome it is and how I don't have to go grocery shopping anymore. It's just delivered. And she looked at me and she said, well, I love grocery shopping. Like, I love that. And I know she has big goals for financial freedom and to build a 6-figure business with Beachbody. And I said, well, guess what, girl? You can enjoy grocery shopping once you build that 6-figure income or whatever it is that your goal is. And I don't mean to be finger wagging. I say that, and I can say that in truth and in courage to her because I love her. And I truly want to be honest and tell her what I would tell myself. You can enjoy creating all the extra trainings and all the extra blogs and all the extra whatever complication, icing on top, once you have gotten to a place where you are stable. And the beautiful thing is that you get to decide what that stability is. And that's when we get the fluff out of the way. And we really look at our goals and we say, wow, I've been afraid to set a financial goal, or I've kind of not been truthful with myself about what I really want. Because if you are in the pursuit of that thing, you're very clear about the extra complications that you don't want on your plate and can't have on your plate because you're fighting for that thing. Once you get that thing, then you can add on the extras and have fun and the bonuses. And I just misspoke. You can have fun throughout the entire thing. And it's in fact finding fun in the slight edge, finding fun in your workouts, finding fun in how you share your PD takeaways, but don't overcomplicate it. All right, so moving on. My second kind of segment of this live today is, I think a lot of you guys, the reason it's not simple for you to either invite or to post about the opportunity or to do your power hour is because you are linking pain to doing it versus linking pain to not doing it. It is more painful for you to wake up early and get your power hour in. It is more painful for you to, once you get cozied up in bed and you're ready to go to sleep, and then all of a sudden you say to yourself, oh, I didn't do my PD. It's more painful for you to get out of bed and read your PD and then get back into bed than it is for you to not do it. And that's because your vision isn't clear enough, and it's not emotional enough, and it's not yours yet. And you guys are real lucky because I'm on the heels of Tony Robbins. This is my second time that I went to UPW, and it really confirmed something in me that I unknowingly was doing when I first started off coaching. I struggle massively with time management and consistency. Consistency is actually my word of the year, and I've been making drastic improvements, but it's not something that is intrinsic in me. But vision is. Vision to me, like, I needed to hear from my coach. I said, I don't need you to teach me a thing. I just need you to tell me, do you know someone who is earning 6 figures with Beachbody? And my coach's coach is Christine Dwyer. And she was like, oh yeah, girl. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's real. I'm like, it's not Monopoly money. Oh yeah. Like, it is you can do this. And once I knew it was possible, I began to paint this vision for myself of, oh my gosh, I'm going to be able to quit my corporate job, and I'm not going to be chained to this desk every single day. And I can post on Instagram whenever I want, and I can travel, and I can start, maybe I can even buy a designer bag someday and pay off all my debt and take my family on vacation. And, I'm only 21 at the time, only 21, but I bet I could pay off my student loans before I'm 30. And then, when I meet somebody, we'll be able to go on vacations more often and not worry about how much, when we're filling up our gas tank. Like, I started to feel it. I started to feel how it would impact my family my decisions, my life, how I could spend, how I could give, how I could serve. I was filling in my job like I just remember like the second week of like really being in this position. It was a very demanding corporate career. And I was like, this is my day every day for 8 to 12 hours a day. This is my life. This will be my life. And Beachbody allowed this vision for me to not have to live with those chains around my wrists at my desk every single day, grinding for someone else's dream. And so I started to taste and feel how exciting and real and possible it would be for me to make that income. So when I got home from work and I had a 2.5 hour commute, I grinded, even though it was late, even though it was hard, even though it didn't make sense to anyone else, because it was more painful for me to have someone take a pin and pop the bubble of my future. They were taking away that future. I was taking away my future every single time I didn't do that thing. And so I want you guys to get emotionally attached as if it's already happened to every single dream that you have that's associated with health and fitness, financial success. How does it impact your marriage or your relationship? How does it impact a future relationship? How does it impact the way that you get to see the world? How does it impact your spiritual life, your emotional state, your friends and family? How are you going to be a better daughter or a better wife or a better mom? And get attached to it so that it's more painful for you to pop the bubble of your future than it is to invite. And Tony gave the example, like if the example was, imagine he had $30 million in an escrow account somewhere. And he said to you, if you can lose 30 pounds in 24 hours, you will get that $30 million. And he asked a volunteer to come up and he said, what would you do in this situation? I have $30 million on the line for you. You just got to lose 30 pounds. And her response was, I would cut off my leg. Like, you will make it happen when there's enough leverage, when there's enough pain that you were avoiding. And for her, physical pain in that moment was less than the pain of $30 million being in her hands, slipping through her fingertips like sand, because she knew what that money could do for her family, for her life, for her future. She would give her leg for it. So if you can attach some serious pain to not having that future of your dream, whatever it is, think about the people you love the most and how you could help them and serve them and change their world, your kids, your family, your friends, you have the opportunity to change their life. And every time you don't do your power hour, every time you don't invite, guess what? You're preventing them from having that. You need to make it emotional and painful. And then a no problem. I can push through that. Yeah, I'll cut off my leg for $30 million. Yeah, I'll deal with a temporary bout of rejection in order to create a dream life for generations to come, to create a legacy, to be able to, okay, I'm going to tell you something really cool. Rob and I I can't even believe we can say this. We just paid off my brother and my sister-in-law's student loans for them with this business. We were able to call Rob's sister and said, hey, we want to pay off the remainder of your student loans. Now, that's a personal decision. It was really scary, but we felt God was calling us to do that because financial freedom for us is as enjoyable if the people that we love are also not feeling that freedom. Woo! Shoot. And it was such an exciting thing and such an emotional thing. And we were able, that's the kind of thing you're leaving at the table. That's the kind of thing that we're fighting for. We are constantly creating this leverage to keep going. This leverage, I cannot give this up for my family. I cannot give this up for myself. I cannot give this up for the old Chelseas that are out there that need this. I cannot give this up. It is more physically painful for me to not invite, because I'm giving that moment up. And I just want you guys to feel everything that it is that you want is placed in your heart for a reason. Like it's in there for a reason, and it's yours already. And you have to act as if it's already yours. This leads me to my third point. Sorry, I just got really emotional sharing that. And so I kind of got a little disoriented. This is a takeaway that I want you guys to apply today. So like write this down and start it. My team probably already has this. I want you to set an alarm for 9 a.m., noon, and 9 p.m. And I want you to write down in this alarm on your phone, I am an elite coach. I am a Million Club member. My mortgage is paid off. I earn $2,000 a week. I have helped 100 people lose weight. I have helped my mom lose weight. I have paid off all my debt. It needs to be specific. Let it be selfish. Let it be something that is for you, and it's okay, because guess what? In order to accomplish our goals, we have to be super selfless. So the more selfish you are in your goals, the more lives you have to change in the process. So I give you freaking permission. And I want you to set this alarm reoccurring every day. 9 a.m., noon, 9 p.m. And it's funny because I'm actually a huge hypocrite. I don't have this in my phone. Wow. See? Wow. Easy to do, easy not to do. I'm cutting corners. But my husband has an alarm in his phone, and it goes off next to me because we work together. And 9 a.m., noon, and 9 p.m. that says, I am a Million Club member. And so whatever it is for you, that thing, that goal, that imagine you could wave your magic wand. That's what it has to be for you, that big thing. If you're getting a reminder at 9 a.m., noon, and 9 p.m. every day that you already are, present tense, not future tense, not I hope to be, I think I might be, I want to be. No. You are. You have. It has happened. Step into it emotionally and in your actual grammar as if it was actually happening. And 3 times a day, you're going to get a reminder in your phone of what that vision is. And when you see that, you're going to say to yourself, wow, am I acting like I'm a superstar diamond? Am I acting like I'm an elite coach? Am I acting like someone who has earned $2,000 a week in passive income? Am I acting like someone who's debt-free? That's a reminder 3 times a day in your face to either make decisions that are going to get you closer to that, or you're going to look at it and you're going to say, no, I got other things to do. Other things are more important. That reminder is going to change your life, and your brain is going to start to see that as something that's a reality and enter into your subconscious, and then you're going to start to make both voluntarily and involuntarily decisions that are going to get you to that place, which then is going to make that emotional reality that much more real. And so it's going to be more painful for you to skip your invites, skip your power hour, make it happen than it is to not do that. So that's the emotional stuff. Now, I'm going to talk about, just finally, because this was supposed to be a 10-minute call, but again, I got stuff I want to say to you guys. I want to talk about we talked about the emotions and the motivation and some tactical things you can do. But now I want to talk about the practical. Oh, that's great, Chelsea. I have all these things I want to do. I'm motivated. I get it, how painful it is. I'm literally in the pain and the discomfort of the most ridiculously demanding job and not having the time and having all of these responsibilities on my plate, and I can't do it all, and I'm failing everywhere, and I want this bad, but you just don't get it. You just don't get the fact that I don't have the time. I don't know how to, I want this, I don't know how. And so I've been there. I feel it emotionally because there are days where I feel like that still sometimes. And I think one of the most important things to remember is you've got to give yourself grace. You've got to give yourself grace. Whether you are starting off and making room for this, even as a part-time hour a day thing in your life, or you're jumping from emerald to diamond, diamond to star diamond to elite, elite to superstar, whatever it is, you're going to constantly be in this place. You want to grow. You signed up to grow. So there's going to be a little bit of discomfort in saying the life I was currently used to and living does not have room yet for the activities that are going to take me to the next level. And so when you feel like I don't have what it takes, I can't do this, I don't have the skills, I don't have the talent, I don't get it, I can't make this work, maybe this isn't for me. No, it's just that your previous lifestyle had 24 hours in a day and it was filled with stuff. And when you start a business, you need to slowly create room and changes in your life, simple daily disciplines in your life that are going to start to lead you towards success. So it's actually kind of strange to me if someone signed up as a coach and immediately had everything together, all the time in the world, figured it out. That indicates to me that they didn't have a lot on their plate and they already had the skill sets that are allowing them to all of a sudden make coaching work. Now, for me, I was at rock bottom when I became a coach. So I didn't have a lot of people in my life. I was very motivated to get out of a painful place. So I just made it happen. I tore it up. But for many of you guys, you're not in that place. You have a schedule and a family and you want more for yourself, but slowly and surely in simple steps, you need to start to schedule these little habits. And you're not going to add 100 things all at once that consistently stick every day. So what I want you guys to do is start small and give yourself grace and really, truly look at the vital behaviors and say, where can I schedule those vitals in? I know that you want to do more. I know you want to do a blog or a YouTube or, do all these gorgeous graphics or create this free group or whatever it is. But that is the frosting. We need to focus on your cake right now. We need to focus on every single day. And I promise you, I know I've been in scarcity before. Sometimes it feels like you roll your eyes in the back of your head, I don't want to hear that the vitals do it. But the vitals are the foundation. And if you don't schedule in the vitals into your life, it's not going to happen. The rest isn't going to matter. I remember hearing at just over and over and over again, the top 10 panels say, Jeff would be like, so could you tell me what the number one thing is that led to your success? And I'm just seeing these people who have 100 successful points or amazing leaders in their downline be like, well, Jeff, the vital behaviors. And I was like, no, there's no way. Because I did the vital behaviors for a week and it didn't work. Well, guess what? I only did it for a week. I didn't do it for 6 freaking years without, and that is what builds the momentum. And there's this story, this analogy by Darren Hardy about pumping the well. So imagine this is ground level, okay? And I am pumping. That's where you guys are. And so let's just say, March 23rd, you do your vitals. March 24th, March 25th, March 26th, March 27th, March 28th, March 29th, guess what happened? You didn't do your vitals. Okay, March 30th, 30 days. Let's say there's 31. March 31st, April 1st, April 2nd, April 3rd, April 4th, April 5th, April 6th, April 7th. Girl, keep pumping! April 8th, April 9th. All of a sudden, water starts to come out. And so when we talk about I'm not saying you can't have off days. I'm saying keep it simple so you can do it every day. Keep it something that you can consistently work into your life, that maybe it takes an hour and a half in pockets. There is no perfect power hour, guys, and there is no perfect schedule, because what's going to happen is every single one of you are different, and you learn different, and you think different. And let's just say you find your secret sauce. Well, what happens when your perfect power hour works while you're working a full-time job, and then all of a sudden you're home? I remember my first day as a full-time coach after being so busy and being able to work my business. I just cried. I was like, what do I do for 12 hours a day? I don't know what to do. When your life season changes, the way that you work has to change. What happens if you have a baby? What happens if you move? What happens if you grow? Like, there is no perfect power hour. The secret to keeping it simple is finding a way to love doing your workout every day. And it's the same time every day. And maybe let's just say it's got to be at 6 a.m. Okay, well then what do we have to move out of 6 a.m. in order for that to happen? What do we have to maybe move out of 8 and 9 p.m. so that you can get to bed earlier? How are we going to adjust the kids' schedule or the obligations that we have to church or activities so that I can get to bed at 6 a.m.? That may take 6 weeks for you to do, but it matters. And even if it isn't an overnight change, guess what? You're learning, you're adjusting. And once you do adjust, that's going to be a part of your life every single day. And let's just say all of us, this is a silly example. We do miracle mornings for like a big live workout Zoom for my personally sponsored coaches and their challengers. Every morning. I have a coach that wakes up religiously at 5 a.m. She opens it up and then we all hop on and kind of keep it going on all morning so that we're working out together. And one day I realized I didn't charge my laptop before I went to bed and it was dead in the morning and I was freaking out and I was stressed and I was frustrated. I was like, I gotta get my workout in. Oh, I could just skip it maybe. Like it was like something got in the way that was a curveball. The lesson that I learned in that crappy day of it being complicated was, all right, Chelsea, I need to set alarm in my phone so that I charge my laptop every single night so it's ready. So even in your failures, even in your worst complicated days, say to yourself, what did I learn? What do I have to do different tomorrow? And that's when you have to give yourself grace, because it's going to look like this when you are a coach, when you are an emerald, when you are a diamond, when you are a 5-star, when you are a superstar. It will look messy because life is changing. It's our ability to take those vitals and consistently work them into our schedule and make them something that we enjoy. All right, final thing I have for you guys. And this is an analogy many of you have heard before, but it's especially helpful when you feel like you're a hot mess and you can't track and you don't know what your power hour should look like and you're like just all over the place and you feel like your business could have improvements everywhere. What do I do? Where do I go? Like, what do I start with? And so I like to think of all of your dreams and all of your visions as these little seeds that are in a garden, and they're just waiting to be watered. And over here is a wall. And there's a spigot, and what you do is you screw in your hot mess, rinky-dink, like, I can't believe this is a business because I just don't know what I'm doing, and I don't have a perfect welcome email, and I'm opening up my Coach Online office, like, what do I do today? And, like, my notes are a mess, and yeah, that's where we all start, guys. I promise. And if someone shows up and they're perfectly professional, it's probably because they were a hot mess in a different career that taught them how to be successful at time management or website design. Like no one is a natural at anything. We were all born naked, screaming and crying, and we learned skills along the way. And it's not something to be ashamed of. It's actually wildly badass of you in your older years to say, hey, I'm going to learn this new thing, and I'm not going to let the fact that I'm not a natural at it deter me. So you're going to screw in this garden hose that's just got holes. It's taped up. It's a mess. There's kinks in it. And in order to be successful, your hose is your system. It's the way that you operate. It's your business operations. You can't know where the holes are in your business until you turn the spigot on and you see the water flow through and you see where the biggest gaps are and the biggest leaks. And it's why there are people with PhDs in Beachbody coaching, but they don't take action and they're not successful. And it's because it's that action. It's turning on that hose and saying like, oh, I got to learn in the doing. You never learn how to swim by reading a book about swimming. You learn how to swim when someone pushes you in the pool. And luckily you have swimmies on, you have a lifeguard, because in this group, in your coach, in Beachbody Champions, in the National Wake Up Call, like we're not operating on hearts, on cardiac patients. Like no one is gonna die if we're not perfect in our execution. And the worse our execution, the better, because the more that we learn. So we turn on this hose, right? So you're like, all right, I'm going to sit down. Sitting down to start working your business is turning on a hose. Wherever there is the biggest leak in water, because we want to get that water to your garden, to water your dreams and make them a reality, that's what you work on. So maybe you're like, I need a welcome email. People sign up and it's not enough. And I need to redo my welcome email. Guess what? Forget about all the other leaks. Sit down, keep it simple, create a system. If you're doing it more than once in your life, you need a system. And all a system is, okay, step 1, this works. Step 2, this works. Step 3, this works. And then you duplicate it and you duplicate it. And all of a sudden that welcome email isn't scary. Maybe the next thing, well, I don't know what to do with them once they've signed up. Well, think about it. Forget everything else. Do you want to put them in a challenge group first? Do you want to make that required? Do you have a Coach Basics group? Does your upline have a Coach Basics group? Do they not have a Coach Basics group? Do they have a Thinkific website? Are you a total orphan and you have no resources? Could you make a list of all the things you'd like to have been taught? And then go to YouTube and find a video for each one. All of a sudden you have a plan. And it's not perfect, but guess what? That leak is mended a little bit. There's a little bit of water that's coming out, but more water is getting toward your garden. And so as you turn on that spigot every single day, you say, well, what could I improve on? But you can't just patch up the hose. You can't do that, because when you're patching up the hose, no water is getting toward your results. You need to invite. You need to recruit. It would be so sad for me if you were just to patch up this garden hose and it would be for nothing, because you don't ever have the courage to turn on the water. And in fact, it's the water that leads you to the growth and leads you to what you should focus on next. And so you keep doing that over and over and over and over again until your hose is solid and it's a system that works. And water gets to your seeds. And that's honestly the concept that I've used in my business for the last 6 years, is what sucks the most. And what can I do to fix it today in a simple way, not make it perfect, because perfection is the enemy of progress. You have got to just say, this is my best right now. And the cool thing is, when you, there's a difference between having a standard of perfectionism and having a standard of excellence. So if I have a standard of perfectionism that I can't roll something out unless it is perfectly flawless, then my coaches are going to see that and say, well, I'm not a graphic designer, so I can't do this. But excellence means completing something, follow through, showing up, just giving it your all. Have a level of excellence where you say, you know what, I did my best, and complete and excellent and imperfect is better than perfect and incomplete. And I'm preaching to myself when I say that, because it's a lesson that I still have to learn every single day. So, moral of the story, read this book. Don't phone it in. Truly read this book. The reason that the things that really, truly build this business are hard to do every day is because the results are invisible. They really are. It's that pumping the well. You don't realize yet. You don't realize yet how important it is to be consistent. And until you do, you need to remind yourself, every single time I don't take action, I am leaving my dreams at the table. I am leaving the freedom of quality time with my family and to be able to see the world and live out my truth and pick off this heavy plate and weight of debt that's crippling me and making me moody and making me frustrated and weighing on my marriage and allowing me to not see my family enough and being the person that I know God did not create me to be. That to me is painful, and it's more painful than ever taking inaction. And so because of that, I keep it simple. I stay connected to my vision, and I give myself grace when things are messy, because they're always messy. Find that one thing after you eat your cake, that one thing that's icing on top that can make it easier for you to do the vitals every single day. And remember that we're just getting started. It's more important for you to do the simple things with excellence than it is to hit Success Club 200. I know it's shiny, but I can guarantee you every single top 10 coach, every single superstar, every single six-figure or million club member started off by polishing their slight edge activities. And what you're seeing that's sexy and beautiful and gorgeous and exciting is really just the product of consistently chipping away at those vital behaviors and getting really good at it to the point where it just becomes a part of who you are. And you can't stop your success because you've become the kind of person that incorporates these things into your life. And that's when it gets really fun. So I hope this was valuable for you guys. I love you. I'm so proud of you, and I want to see you win more than you could possibly understand. So hope you have an awesome weekend. Get those slight edge activities and vitals in. It's a lot more simple than we make it out to be.